to What You Need to Know. I am Sybil Wilkes, and it is Wednesday. That means it's Myra J, comedian extraordinaire, and Stephen Hill, bon vivant man around the world day.
Bon vivant.
Bon vivant. Bon vivant.
Bon,
Bonvivant. Bon vivant.
bon vivant.
Oh,
Good
is that
living.
different
Good living,
from
guy.
old
Not if you
I
do it
think-
right.
I was waiting for his response to that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. How are you all today?
I am well. I am
Good,
well.
good,
Thank you for asking. And the world, how's it? Wait a
The
minute.
world is a bit crazy.
Wait a minute. What? Why is Stephen? Oh hell no today.
Here's why. Hell no. First of all, I should have done St. Patrick's because Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Oh, that's why y'all got. Well, I got some green in the background. Okay.
Yeah,
Your
great.
eyes. We'll just go with your eyes.
Thank you.
Let's talk
oh,
about
hell-
what's going on in the news because we don't have a lot, and a lot of this is really as to why we are talking about this last minute stuff. Just after we went off the air yesterday, talking to Myra J, because she was so helpful during the show with Jay yesterday, talking about what was going on in Atlanta and this rash of shootings that took place at Atlanta area spas. And as it turns out, it was one man who has been arrested in these shootings. And he's a 21-year-old white man suspected in the 8 people murder at 3 Atlanta area spas. And they say he was headed to Florida perhaps to carry out additional shootings when he was arrested Tuesday night. That is according to the mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms said it's very likely there would have been more victims. Preliminary information is that 6 of the people were Asian women and 2 white people, a man and a woman. May not have been racially motivated. Now, this is the really interesting part that I want to ask you guys about, because many of us have known about the horrific race baiting and racial tactics people have used in the last year during the pandemic, namely the former president who insisted upon calling this flu the Chinese flu, the Chinese virus.
The China virus.
Yes. And so, and a lot of contempt, a lot of hatred, a lot of spewing has been heaped upon the Asian community. And it doesn't matter what country they're from. Just as long as they look Asian, they have been the victims of a lot of hatred. And so the first thing that came to mind when we talked about this yesterday, Myra, was the fact that these were Asian people who were involved in these spas, right? Now, this morning, the stories were that we're talking about some sort of sexual addiction, that a policeman said that this is what this kid said. This is as a result of his sexual addiction. I thought it was very interesting that they threw that out right away, as opposed to really dealing, so they're going to do their due diligence. But I just thought that was really interesting that they kind of veered off that way and talked about a sexual addiction instead of talking about the racial motivation, which would bring a whole different caliber of charges against him.
Well, everybody knows I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. House or never. I am a house or never person. I do believe that to quote our president, that's just a bunch of hooey. It's just a malarkey, because I still feel that there is hatred involved. I don't know if it's hatred toward Asians or hatred towards women, but one of the officers here is getting a lot of backlash because in his statement, he said, well, this kid was having a bad day.
Yeah.
Really? That's how you're going to describe it? He was having a bad day? What about the 8 people killed and the one man who's in the hospital now, trying to survive? That's horrible. I still think that this should be charged as a hate crime, just like I said, whether it's Asians or it's women. This man has something because to me, if you have a sex addiction or any kind of addiction, why you gonna go out and blow up what you're addicted to? And I'm not out here promoting suicide, but dude, if it was that bad, Why did 8 people have to lose their lives?
Right.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If it was that bad, why would you go out and take 8 innocent people out?
Yeah.
I'm not accepting this bad day, and let's just have a kumbaya moment and study what's wrong with it. We can do
Right.
that while he's doing life and a half in prison.
Stephen Hill, have you had a chance to go over this story?
Not as fun as I would like to, which leads to, you know, my suggestion is always going to be like, okay, let's see where the facts go. I don't think there's any. I mean, my personal opinion is that I can't see that if he targeted only Asian women, that there's not some biased crime here, even if there's a sexual part of it.
Right.
It's still a biased crime, and you know, let's. The fetishization.
I'm impressed that you know that word.
Look, of Asian women is not new, and this wouldn't be the first time that it involved itself in some kind, probably something in this horrific, but it's not the first time this would be involved in criminal activity. So I'm really hoping people don't throw sex in there to try to obfuscate the issue. It's really got to be look. It just goes deeper into biased crimes, and so, in my opinion, you know, and I believe that's what the facts will bear out. But again, they don't know them all yet, and I'm always a fan of getting it right as opposed to quickly.
Mm-hmm. So. Right, right. Obviously, as we mentioned before, Asian Americans are not. This is not new to them, and they have spent the better part of this year, not to mention their lives, living in fear. But this actually took it to a whole nother level. There have been reports of a restaurant that was spray painted with the message Kung Flu in Texas. A travel agency employee in California was nearly blinded. And an 84-year-old man from Thailand died after being shoved to the ground during his morning walk. These things have been going on this year. And I just thought it was very interesting the quickness with which one of the sheriff's officials said, oh, no, this had to do with his sexual addiction. And others are saying, whoa, let us do our due diligence in making a determination about the motive of this crime. So,
but are all the victims Asian?
6 of them were women, Asian women, and one was a white woman and the other was a white man.
Yeah.
They just happen to get in the way, or? I mean, like, I'm
well, that's a determination too. No, certainly. But apparently, knowing very little about the order in which and how these women were killed, but they some people are saying that they were a part of the spa, but not necessarily were they his targets.
And one thing I think. When you put the sexual nature on it, now I understand. I now again trying to think. I think everybody wants to tie this to how Trump horrifically blamed everything on China, and so while I'm not ready to say this is that reason. I think the whole sexual thing is not necessarily to veer off from it being a hate crime. It's just to veer it off from separating it from what from being Trump being responsible. I can't see this being veered off from being a hate crime. I don't see that, but I can't see it. Maybe Trump's not responsible for this, but it doesn't mean that Trump's not responsible for, you say Kung Flu, people praying Kung Flu. This is what you get.
Yeah. Quickly, as we're moving and our time is running out in this segment, I just want you to be aware that DC police say that a Texas man has been arrested near the vice president's residence with a rifle and a large capacity clip. They say he was arrested outside of the residence this afternoon, and he has been arrested, and they found a cache of weapons in the San Antonio man's car as well. In possession of an unregistered ammunition and possession of large ammunition feeding device.
And that is why I am oh hell no today. That is exactly what I refer. I heard about that. I heard about. That's what I'm referring to. Okay. Oh hell no, y'all ain't trying to come for Kamala already. No.
Yeah. A lot of things in terms of coming for folks. want to talk to you about the Derek Chauvin trial, which is continuing. We know that things will slow down a bit after the announcement of the $27 million settlement between the city of Minneapolis and the estate of George Floyd. The total number of jurors temporarily shrank to 7 when the judge removed 2 earlier who said that under his questioning, they had heard about the federal lawsuit and admitted that it affected their ability. Then it went back up to 9. A Black man, a suburban father, was added to the jury, and a white woman who works as an organizational consultant. One of the morning's dismissed jurors was a Hispanic man in his 20s, had news of the settlement, kind of confirmed some opinions that he had. And in this case, another juror was dismissed who said, a Black man, who said he and many others who he knows are Black have experienced prejudice at the hands of Minneapolis police. And despite that, he gave a firm assurance to the defense's repeated questions about whether he could give this fair judgment regarding the evidence. He said, me as a Black man, you see a lot of Black men get killed and no one is held accountable for it. And you wonder why. And maybe I will be in the courtroom to know why. And they said, no, thanks a lot. But thank you for your
Appreciate your candor. Appreciate your candor, Leah. But you've got to go.
Yeah. And I'm sure, there were a lot of people going, man, you're speaking for us, but you're not going to make it.
Exactly.
Exactly. But this case is, I'm still curious, and maybe you guys have thought about this, and we haven't had a chance, the 3 of us to talk about it, why this announcement was made Friday as they are starting the jury selection. The announcement of the $27 million settlement with the George Floyd family.
To taint the jury pool. I'm with Brenda McCutcheon. To taint the jury pool.
Yeah.
Because isn't the defending attorney trying to get a new
they want to move it. They want to move the trial
because of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had stated previously that there was a case of, was it a Black officer who had killed a white woman and her family settled, but they waited until after the jury selection to announce the settlement.
Do you remember that case? That was a really weird case, and the white woman went outside in the backyard, and the cop came and killed her. She was out there at the trash. And it was a sad case, but that was Minneapolis too. You're absolutely right. Okay, let's move to what's trending. And I'm really curious about this because the conversation for me continues about what happened with the case of the women on The Talk and Sharon Osbourne and her defending her friend Pierce Morgan and saying he's not a racist, she's not a racist. And now it is, the show is on hiatus, at least for this week. They've continued the hiatus, and a lot of things conversations are coming out, and who is, being pushed into what direction and how this all came about and whether Sharon Osbourne was played or not. Cheryl is not saying anything. She has chosen not to speak out yet. Sharon Osbourne is pleading her case, and there was a recent interview between her and our friend Kevin Frazier from Entertainment Tonight. Now, he tagged several Black women, including, okay, so let's go to the video.
Oh, that producer woman.
So it was just brought to my attention that Kevin Frazier interviewed this cretin, Sharon Osbourne, and gave her a softball interview, just not asking her any real hard questions about the allegations that are taking place, and decided in his caption when he posted on Instagram to tag myself, Holly Robinson Peete, and Cheryl Underwood in an effort to have a kumbaya teaching moment for this trash ass woman who doesn't even feel like she needs to abide by the basic laws of civility, let alone in a professional setting. And I'm wondering why do so many brothers, particularly in this entertainment business, feel the need to lay their coat down across troubled waters to help these white folks who don't give a fuck about us?
I love the fact that she goes from little bun up on top of her head to full Angela Davis hair mode, and wah. So we know how Amanda Seales feels about this, and I'm just wondering, yay or nay? Are you in agreement, or you have another thought on it, Stephen Hill?
I got cut out of that, so I didn't hear I got there just as she was pulling her band out, so I'm not sure what position she took. I apologize.
She's really unhappy about the softball the interview Kevin Frazier did with Sharon Osbourne, and why why did he tag her and Holly Robinson Peete and Cheryl and all of this, and talking about the anger with which these they say Black men in entertainment will lay their coats across and try to be very doting towards white women.
I missed the Kevin Frazier interview with Sharon Osbourne. What was in that interview? I think that's
it was a very, very softball interview. It basically was what seemed to me was it seemed like it was a PR piece for Sharon Osbourne, in which he says, Sharon, tell us what happened, and she gave her take on this, but it did not seem very genuine, and it seemed like she was she's still trying to plead her case and perhaps keep her job. But it's obvious that heads are going to roll as a result of this.
Sure. And that's why there needs to be more Black-owned media. Let's be clear. Kevin Frazier did not book that interview. He did not decide that interview was going to be aired. He was the person who did the interview and probably followed the tech that he was told to take for that interview. So while he was the person there, I'm not sure that he, not working for a Black-owned organization, or actually working for one that's not Black-owned, was that much of a decision maker in terms of how that went. That's what I would take as person in the media.
Let me just say that her title of this is "Cut the Kumbaya BS." It's enough of that. Myra, what do you think? Because Myra, it just reminded me a lot of you.
Well, let me say, I didn't hear all of the original dust up with Sharon and Cheryl, but from what I gather, she defended Piers Morgan and told Cheryl, don't start crying, or
don't you cry. I should be the one who could cry.
Right. Well,
we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Well,
now that
to me, that was a South Side moment, and no apologies, just come at it, come hard, because that movie where it says you can't handle the truth. It's like when we tell you how we really feel, don't ask for my opinion or put it out there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, hell yes it is. It's freaking racism. He is a racist. He got caught up in his feelings because the brown sugar ghosted his ass. Now he wanted to get all, get up, walk off the show. Walk the frick off and take your racism with you. We don't give a damn. And if she want to get pissed off about it, she can walk her ass off too. But if you really want to sit down and have a real discussion about it, then she needs to sit down and have a real deal discussion about it, so that there can be some real clarity on all sides about this is how you see us, this is how we see you, and this is why we see it as racism. And I don't think she's had that discussion yet.
No, they haven't. I'm pretty sure that they have not, Myra. And now it just keeps getting more pieces get added to this. And we just have a little bit of time left. I just think that there's some subterfuge here, but I also think that more and more is coming out about Sharon Osbourne, as far as her racism, the things she said about Julie Chen, the things that she said about Holly Robinson Peete, calling her ghetto, the way that she's referred to Sarah Gilbert, who was the creator and executive producer of the show. I think that there's a lot that's going to come out about Sharon Osbourne, and for her to say that she's not a racist is wholly false, if not just a complete absolute lie.
But then remember, these people don't truly believe that they aren't racist, because to Myra's point, they're not willing to have the tough conversation. They're so in defense mode all the time that you say you're a racist. I'm not a racist. I can't be a racist. My best friend's a racist. I would never, as opposed to like, no, let me tell you.
Well, wait. Let's go to somebody who really is a racist. Let's talk about this particular case. This is on the front page of the What You Need to Know newsletter. And this is a man who says he's not a racist either, but it's very clear that he is. And his name is Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. Yes. Who knew that a man named Johnson would have problems with racism? No stranger to controversy, this Republican from Wisconsin is facing charges of racism. And during a recent radio interview on a conservative syndicated show called the Joe Pags Show, he said that he never felt threatened during the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Mind you, it was 99.9% white people, a lot who looked like him. He said if the protesters were Black Lives Matter and Antifa, he said he would have felt differently. He said, going deeper, he said, now that the tables had turned, and Joe, this is going to get me in trouble. So he knew where he was going. He's just setting this stuff up. After the tables been turned and President Trump won the election and tens of thousands of Black Lives Matter and Antifa, I might have been a little concerned. He says Monday that there's nothing racist about his comments. This isn't about race. It's about riots. Help me here. Help me, Stephen Hill. Help me.
Look, I got nothing. There's another guy who's going to back up and say, no. What I said didn't racist. No. So yes, that, and the fact that, so somehow, not only was he racist, but somehow in his apology, he tried to make Black Lives Matter a white movement. Say what? Say what? Wait, what? How? There are white people in Black Lives Matter. Wait, what? Black Lives Matter became a white movement?
Yeah. This is just the way he talked about it just reminded me of Sharon Osbourne. And you're denying racism just the way Sharon Osbourne has tried to do. And you don't know, or you're lying to yourself and to us when you say this is not about race. It is. And you're a racist, she's a racist, and you need to come clean about it. If your comments were not racist, why would you even refer to Black Lives Matter?
Well, that's the whole thing. He stated the people who came to the Capitol on the 6th were patriots, and he knew these people, and he loved these people because those were his people. The reason he brought up Black Lives Matter straight up is because those are not his people. They don't look like me. They're not about what I'm about, and therefore I have to be afraid of them. That's where this whole racism thing stems from. It's all about fear. It's all about fear.
And connecting and marrying Black folks and violence. It's and that is what's so disturbing to me.
I believe that he thinks he represents his constituency. I think they have no problem using racism for votes. This isn't. I don't think it's about. In the end of the day, I don't think it's not about race. It's about votes. If he thought that saying Black Lives Matter was the best thing in the world was going to get him more votes in Wisconsin, then that's what he would do. But in this case, he is speaking the way he thinks his Wisconians. Is that what you call it?
Wisconsinites.
No, Wisconsinites. Got it. What Wisconsinites would say. So
I like Wisconians. It makes me hungry for a scone.
But he will. It's race is not the end. It's the trajectory to get to more votes when he's up for re-election.
And he is up for re-election. And next year he is running for re-election. You're absolutely right. I just think that I really hope that we will continue to be able to call out these people, as we said in the newsletter. We have a comment here. Let's see. Okay, Sonia says, I'm tired of these racists saying that what they want then when the heat is on. Oh, that's not what I meant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Sonia, you're right. Because that's what Sharon Osbourne. Oh, no. You know what?
And she said she can't be racist because she's a Jew. And
Wait, what?
Yeah, that was part of her little. Sorry, Steve, but I didn't mean
Sorry
to.
about that. My bad.
I didn't mean to upset you that much. But she, she said that was part of her rage, and when they had to, to bleep her out because she said she couldn't be a racist because she's a Jew. And so, but we also have to call out these people wherever they are. Tamara says he is an idiot. Make it make sense. These white folks are racist. The people that did the riot at Capitol, he was okay with. Get the out of here. Get the freak out of here.
But please remember, please also think of this from Ron Johnson's point of view. Getting votes, the Black Lives Matter was the subject, not the object. The object was you people who are so upset that you stormed the Capitol. I'm kind of with you. He just threw Black Lives Matter under the bus as an additional thought. Knowing full well he was going to get it. He said this is going to get me into trouble.
He said it. This is going to get me into trouble, Jeff. But also, Steve,
and you're right.
He's calling out those people because they're Trump supporters, and he's going to need them next year. So he wants to remind them where he stands, his affiliation, not only with white people, but with racist white people and Trump supporters.
This is not about race. It's about votes. For us, it's always about race, and because it has to be. But for Ron Johnson, this wasn't about race. This was about votes.
I think it was to identify himself and to make sure very clear where he stands with racists. He stands with them. But you're right. That's just from this Black woman's opinion. Okay. So now we have the state of Texas joining the state of Florida, joining the state of where else? Georgia. And Mississippi, yes. They are now trying to introduce bills that are making voting more difficult as the upcoming elections, making the heavily Democratic and African-American city of Houston a prime target. Texas Republicans are looking to shrink the voting access that was expanded during the 2020 election. Now, this is no stranger to those of us in the state of Texas, because remember, they closed off the number of areas where people could put their mail-in ballots. They did a number of, in this humongous county of Harris County, where, it's 1,000 miles wide plus, right? But they still made it into and made it an effort to make it difficult for people to get their ballots to submit them. So now they're looking to shrink this voting access even more. 24 bills introduced to the Texas GOP banned counties from sending absentee ballot request forms to all registered voters. So you got to ask for it. Limit counties' ability to expand voting hours. Require faster purges of the voting rolls. We don't have time to make sure that all of these are right or wrong. Let's just purge them all. Let's just make it easier. And they also will make it easier for you to challenge signatures on absentee ballots and more. They're really just ramping up for this coming year. And so at a news conference that good old rolling Governor Greg Abbott criticized Harris County's 2020 efforts to make voting easier. How dare they try to make it easier, right? He says we must pass laws to prevent election officials from jeopardizing the election process and from making Democrats turn. We are not going to let Democrats turn this state blue.
Heaven forbid. Well, they must have all had a good old boy meeting, because, Raffensperger said the same thing here when they started. He literally said, we made it too easy to vote in the state of Georgia. And I thought that in a democracy, you would want it to be easy for people to vote so that everyone's voice is heard. But like I said, is this country really about a democracy? Or really, wink, wink, has it always been what worked for them? Because democracy apparently didn't work for them in this last election. So now we get to it's like, no. We ain't talking about that kind of democracy. We talking about this kind of democracy over here.
We're talking about Republican democracy.
Right. So,
Steve, what do you think?
Look, we talked, I forget what state it was. We talked about something. We talked about, okay, so can this hide behind the veil of trying to stop voter fraud?
Which
and this sounds Right, and this one, and I forget what it was last week, but last week like, no, you're just trying to suppress voting. This one, you want to get the signatures. Okay, you don't, think about, is this a way to stop dead people from voting or people voting twice? Right, that's and
it's a way of life in Chicago.
And
though.
if he said vote early, vote often. And I think if you look at this, like, is this? They get to hide behind that veil of like, checking signatures. Okay, that's the way to make sure people don't vote twice and don't register as two different people, right? And the other elements are like, making sure dead people don't vote. So it just makes it so that we have to be diligent about making sure we're on the rolls. This does not prevent us from voting. It makes it more difficult. I want to make sure that as we talk about this, they're trying to make it more difficult. But it's not something that we just got to be. We cannot
overcome.
Right.
Yeah, and diligence is right. You're absolutely right.
Let me add real quick. Something happened here in the state of Georgia within the last 48 hours. Some of the major companies, I want to say.
Oh, I was going to bring that up. Yes, go ahead, Myra.
Okay.
No, go. No, you go.
Okay.
You go.
Home Depot and I believe
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Delta Airlines.
Well, Home Depot and Coca-Cola has taken the major stand. Basically, they got billboards up saying, we ain't with that voter suppression. We will not support you with it. I think that this could be a game changer because as much as it's about the votes, it's all about that mighty dollar. And if these big companies, and there's plenty of big ones here in Georgia, start to step up and say, we will not support you behind this voter suppression thing. And then Sybil, name the other companies because I want to say Delta and a few other companies.
Yeah,
they didn't go all the way with it to say we won't donate, but they say, we don't really like that. So
So here's the deal. They say several major Georgia-based corporations, Aflac, Delta Airlines, and UPS, they're putting pressure on them to oppose the plans to suppress the voting. Last Friday, the Georgia Chamber of Commerce issued a statement expressing concern and opposition to the bills introduced in the legislature. So representatives from Coca-Cola and Home Depot said that their companies are aligned with the chamber's comments. Voting rights advocates want the individual companies to do more, and they say that the state's Black voters are watching. They got their eyes on you. So
but I thought that was really cool for them to come forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. To quote Hamilton, history has its eyes on you.
Amen. Hey, Tracy Scott says Home Depot hopefully took a hit in the last election. It was widely shared that they gave millions to Donald Trump. Absolutely, you're right. And so things may have turned around for them as a result of some people who took their business to Lowe's. Just saying. A number of states are opening up their giving out of the vaccinations to people. Mississippi yesterday was the second state to open up the vaccinations. Everybody can go and make an appointment in order to get their vaccinations ages 16 and up. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe it's a wonderful thing. Georgia, what's the day? Today is Wednesday. As of Monday, we're number 50. We're number 50. we were the last. We are 50 out of 50 freaking states in distribution. But as of today, they opened up 5 more mega sites in the state, making 9 now. So hopefully we can rocket right up there to like 42 or something. But
rocket up to 42,
all the way up to the mid 40s, But that's one of the reasons why I'm still upset with the state of Georgia. Like, so y'all want to work on voter suppression, but we're last in passing out. Right, the vaccine. Get your priorities straight. So that aside, hopefully things will get better. And I believe the governor said the last week of March, first week of April, they're going to open it up. Just
Yeah.
anybody who wants it can get it.
Steve, what do you think about the faithful ward being able to take the vaccine?
I love the faithful ward, but if that homie gets the shot before I do,
You haven't got the shot yet, Stephen? No.
it's gonna be a problem. No, I haven't first.
Remember last week he showed us his very masculine, muscular.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? You remember? I know you do, Myra. Listen,
It's all fleshy and meaty and stuff. I saw your guns.
I think it's early. I think it's early to open up to everybody. I don't think there's not a 16-year-old on this planet without other conditions that should be getting it before a grandmother. And so I think I don't know all of the details behind it, but it seems like a very it doesn't seem. I'm trying to avoid using the word lazy. It feels like a lazy way to do it. It feels like you should step it down. Like there should not be 16-year-olds who, can run to the clinic while other people got to roll to the clinic. The rollers should get there first. It's rough.
Well, I agree. I agree with you in that respect. I do. And
I actually get the shot number 2 tomorrow. So yep. So we're
2 weeks from tomorrow, we're gonna try to figure out where in the world is Myra J.
It's gonna be better than Where's Waldo. I promise you. I will be sitting there.
Stephen Hill will show up in his Shangri-La, and Myra will be going, "Hey,
come on down,
you need more tequila."
Words that are never said wherever I am. The supply is not the problem.
Let me ask you about this. Once again, under the file of white people never fail to amaze me. This is in Missouri, O'Fallon, Missouri, where teachers at a Christian school were playing a game of human Scrabble. And they missed a couple of letters, so they decided they did not have the letters that of the word they wanted to spell out in human body form. So they ended up spelling the word coons. They were looking for an RAC. They couldn't get that of the human bodies they had, and so they just spelled out the word coons. And now the NAACP is calling on the school and the district to say, what up with this? And out of these 5 white teachers, they never, not a one saw anything wrong with this. And they're trying to figure out, what is the big deal?
So once again, why we get so frustrated when we have Black History Month, when it should just be history, the real story, period. 24 hours a day, 365. Now, personally, to me, it's hard to believe that 5 educators did not one of the 5. What kind of stupid Kool-Aid you all have been drinking, and what are you teaching the kids? That not one of you said, I think I heard back in my private meeting when my husband had the hood on, that this probably isn't something we should be saying out in public. So at some point, somebody should have said that, but they didn't. But saying if none of that happened, and they honestly didn't know, as they say, this is a teachable moment.
For the teachers.
Yes, for the teachers. And I would have them taking Black history for like 5 or 6 weeks.
So
after school.
Yes, Stephen.
And it had an.
Let me just say, for people who are listening to you, they can't get the full effect of your facial expressions. We got less than a minute, so.
All right, okay, fair enough. There was an S at the end. It was Coons, right?
Yes, COONS.
Cool. Because SCOON is a word that would win in Scrabble. Is a word that you would get by in Scrabble. You had the letters for another word, scoon, which is to skip across, to cause to skip across the top of water. So that's kind of my problem. Educators saw those letters, and that's what they saw. That's what they saw. And
they knew exactly.
It would be on the line because borderline word, but
and scone could have been a triple word too. You know, it just
depending on where it was. Depending on where it was.
A triple word and a triple letter. Absolutely. Okay, so we are coming up on the St. Patrick's Day, or we are here at St. Patrick's Day, and so we're going to ask you one more St. Patrick's Day related question for our question of the day. No doubt the teachers in O'Fallon, Missouri will probably feel more comfortable with this question than they would be with what the hell are you thinking with the coon word there. But every day we do ask a question of the day. And today is St. Patrick's Day, celebrating Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. I don't know if you all, I know, Stephen, you're wearing the green. I am too. Myra's got green eyes. So, you know, I think we're all good. I think we're all good. And so I'm wondering about the luck of the Irish. And are there, you know, you don't have to be Irish, although some of us look like we may have some Irish in us, Myra. I'm just saying. Do you have any lucky notions, or do you have any of those things that are make you feel as though are you lucky? Do you believe in the luck if your right palm itches? Do you believe in losing money if your left palm itches? Do you have an item of clothing? Do you have a lucky color? Do you have a lucky coin? And I'm hoping other people who are participating in this, watching us and listening to us, will also participate in this. I will ask you, because Stephen Hill, you're a pretty lucky guy. You're not only are you blessed, but you're a very lucky man. So do you have the luck of the Irish? Do you have something that brings luck to you?
I'm not, you know, I've seen Irish people in a natural habitat. I'm not sure I'm calling, especially the amount of melon they got, luck. Like I'm not willing to buy into that quite yet. Right? Right? So
although you do like a ginger.
Yeah, I was gonna go there. That's exactly.
Sorry.
I was taking the left. I was, you asked me if there's any Irish in me. No, but maybe. Listen, what I'm saying is, my point being. No. I just look. I not the luck of the Irish. I'm glad they found these 4-leaf clovers and things that make them, or 4-leaf clovers, whatever it is. I got the luck of the Stephen, and I'm really happy with just that. Stephen
O'Hill. Yes.
And my good friends, by the way, Michael O'Malley, Marlon, Tito O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
Yeah. And Jackie Jackson. He's still Jackson. I don't know.
Myra.
Well, speaking of Irish and whoever they are, you know, we're still trying to figure out where I came from in my family with all this. Although our family names are McDonald and Corley, but seeing as how my ancestors were treated as slaves, I don't know a damn thing about the luck of the Irish, because it sure didn't work if it came through my family. But I will
say you're Black Irish.
Black Irish? Oh, well, thank me, Lucky Charms. Okay. But I will say that today I just happened to be turning. I don't know if this is a series or what, but it was a movie on called Leprechaun 4 from Outer Space.
No. Turn away immediately. Just turn. No.
It was so bad. It was the worst. And all I kept thinking was, why are they showing this? And then I said, for St. Patrick's Day, I said every Irishman should be up in arms for this bullshit. It was the worst freaking movie ever. It is so bad.
And it's 4. It was Leprechaun.
It was
4.
Yes, because when it went off, they said stay tuned for Leprechaun 3, and that's when I realized, you mean it was actually more of these movies? Yeah.
They're horrible movies that did really, really well. Every single of the Leprechaun movie is absolutely horrible. It's how they got to 4.
I never even heard of them.
More than a 1 if it sucks.
I never heard of them.
Hey, Brian Scott wants to know, Stephen, what are the numbers for the Mega Millions this Friday? I'm going to write that down too with my green pen. Steve, go ahead. Give us the numbers.
All I can tell you is that one will be a 26 and one will be a 30. That's it.
I think that is the ages of the women that he has his eyes on, but I'm not sure.
Wow. Is there a number for red?
Well played. Do you remember when Bill Cosby had the movie? Was it Max Part 6? And they were like, "What happened to Max Part 1 through 5?" And they
Leonard
Part 6. And I was hoping with Leprechaun that they were going to stop at 1, or they were going to jump and then not have any more. Those are some of the worst movies ever made.
Yes.
Oh, Sybil, and you ain't seen the Leprechaun then.
Leonard Part 6. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think parts 1 through 5 were about to come out, but somehow they got drugged. They got drugged and left at home somehow.
They got a little Spanish fly.
I felt bad when I said it. I ain't gonna lie.
I know, but I loved you for it. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Hey, Michael, they also said a leprechaun in the hood. That's funny.
Stealing from Jan Brown, he probably going, would that be Kirk?
Exactly.
Thank you, Jay.
Kirk hasn't had enough this week.
By the way, you know he's not joking. I believe there was a leprechaun in the hood. I don't think he's joking. It's not a joke.
I'm believing that he is.
Yes,
absolutely.
he's very serious. Yes.
Michael's a straight man.
Yes.
We love Michael for his facts and figures.
Yes.
And so
yes.
I'm thinking he's absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So as we come to the end of this, I don't have the only thing that I could think of. I don't have. I have superstitions. I guess like I said with the hand, and Mr. Pre was the one that said if it's right you get money. If it's left-handed, it just means you owe money. You're going to lose money and something like that. I believe that, or at least I try to. So
it's whichever one he puts the credit card in.
All right, Blair. All right. Okay, Blair.
That's the lucky one.
All right. And speaking of Leprechaun in the Hood, let us go to entertainment news.
Okay.
I'm so afraid of where this is going to go.
Well, right.
I'm so afraid. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm like, really? Something's about to
the picture of the leprechaun is still in my head, so I'm like, we might have a really short
a leprechaun with a really big shillelagh. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm Googling shillelagh right now. What is that shillelagh? I'm going to show y'all a picture of it if I see it.
I got big shillelagh.
Quick, Stephen Hill, send me a picture of your shillelagh.
I got big. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we are going to talk entertainment, and we are going to talk Oscar nominations because I know that is your thing, Steve. Also, want to get your take, your recap of the Grammy Awards show, and also want to start it off with, and we haven't talked about this week. But definitely a in memoriam section to Yaphet Kotto, who was an incredible actor and did. I mean, his career was really one that a lot of people admired. And from being in a James Bond movie to being an Alien, and then doing well on television with Homicide, Life on the Street. They said he had a long and storied career and a good life, and he passed away this week at the age of 81. And his wife posted that on Facebook. And, she said, you played a villain on some of your movies, but for me, you're a real hero. And to a lot of people also, a good man, a good father, a good husband, and a decent human being. He had asked for more than that.
That's it. We all have to go. That's what we want said when we leave. There you go.
Absolutely. I believe that. I believe that. Okay, so Stephen Hill, you have, I know.
That thing in the middle?
That's a shillelagh.
That's your shillelagh.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, this thing right here in the middle is your shillelagh.
All right, ladies.
This thing is shillelagh.
All right, now. This is our new word. Our new word of the day. Everybody, call somebody Say, show me your shillelagh for St. Patty's Day.
Tonight, when you're going out with your mask on, I still want to see that big shillelagh.
That's right. Whip out your shillelagh, baby.
Yeah, whip out your shillelagh. I think I'm going to make that into a bumper sticker. I'm not sure. And put it on the car when I go to Ireland.
Yes. I need to see that shillelagh.
Stephen Hill, I know I asked you, and I know about the arrangements and stuff about the Grammy Awards and things like that, and there were people who were gathered. But I thought if there was anybody who was able to get there, it would have been you.
It was a choice.
Yeah.
Look, it was a choice to not go. That's the best way I can put it. It was a choice. I think it's only the second Grammys I've missed in 30 some odd years. But you got to respect what they were trying to do, and there were not a lot of people who didn't belong there in some way, shape, form, germane to the show that were there. So quickly, I thought it was unbelievably well done. Shout out to Ben Winston, and shout out to our guy, Jesse Collins, who was an integral part of making that show, turning it around from what it's been for the last few years. Number one, because it had to be COVID. Number two, because they wanted to do new things. And I thought they did an amazingly thorough and wonderful job with it. I thought it hit on all levels. I think I am tired. I love, when people win and they really don't believe they should win and they think the other black person should win, I'm glad that they say it, but I'm tired of it happening. So, I think
to Billie Eilish, are you like?
Yeah. No. I love Billie Eilish, and I think and I love Adele. And when they got up there and they got something that they realized that in the real world, maybe it should have gone another way. They were very clear about that. Taylor Swift ain't never said this belongs to somebody else.
No, and she was looking some kind of way when Billie Eilish was saying that to Megan, right?
You're supposed to keep these. What you talking about?
I had my award taken from me. Right. Remember?
You gotta look left, right. Make sure Kanye's not around.
Exactly.
So I thought the Grammys were fantastic. I love the fact that Judas and the Black Messiah have so many nominations. Daniel Kaluuya was not a surprise.
Hang on a second. Let me hang on about the Oscars, because I do want to ask you about the WAP staging of the whole thing with the WAP song and how people have responded to it, because Candace, the Republican Candace Owens has come out. She and Cardi B are going at it. Cardi B is going at it with Tucker Carlson. All of the people who are so offended by what happened. I know what you thought about it, but I'm just wondering what you think about these people coming after her.
Art, when it's in its most regressive state, much like politics, is not there to satisfy you. It's not there to keep the status quo. It's there to move things forward. Full stop. And that is one of those songs. I have always seen it, and I think as a women's empowerment song. How many songs do you know where men are disguising how they talk about their junk? Countless songs where men are doing that. So women do it now. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Look, it's always been what I think they meant it to be, which is a female empowerment song. I take it as such. Was it a little lascivious for my liking? No, it was not even a little bit. No, I ain't gonna lie. That was not even a little bit. And when they started doing this to each other in the bed, I was like, I'm turning lights out.
Wait for me.
Yes. So that's what our art is going to do. That. Look, people were upset when Elvis Presley shook his hips at one point in time.
Yeah.
Art moves forward faster than those who created it yesterday. I'm good with that.
And I think anybody like Tucker Carlson who's trying to carve his next role in that of Bill O'Reilly or someone like that. I think that's just a waste of time, because he's been saying a lot of ridiculous things, and for him to chime in on this is just a waste. Myra, did you watch the Grammys?
Yes, most of it. Yes. And look, the WAP song. Let me just say this about that. It's okay if that's what you know what, ladies, if you want to celebrate your vaginal juices, hey, go for it.
Wow.
Well, that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
And that's a nice way of saying it.
And invite me.
for me, I just find it interesting that when it comes to Black women and hit records, that many times we are very sexualized. It's not, you don't see the white women, you don't see the Asian women, but for us, you know, it's like, if you want to be a hit, the other little girl, Dua
Lipa.
in the pink, when I thought she was doing her thing in the little pink blazer, but then she pulled it off and had a bikini on, and I was like, baby sister, that little flat booty just ain't working. And just no, stay in your lane. I'm happy for the women. I'm all about freedom. Just for me, it should be like a Grammys after dark. Then I would be all for it. And the thing is, to me, if we gonna see some WAD, then I need to see some WAD. Okay.
Bad. You want to see some bad?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yes.
Let's make it even, Steven. You know.
No pun intended, but taken.
I think she did intend that. Myra J, we're going to give
it's
you.
It's even. It's deep too.
Like I said, show me your shillelagh.
Okay, you princess.
So, Myra, we're just making an observation here that we're glad that dry February is over. And everybody else is too. Yeah. So here we have 3 Black men who have been nominated in the same category for the Academy Awards, actor in a supporting role. Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, as you mentioned, Steve. Lakeith Stanfield, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami. No nomination for Regina King. I'm just going to keep saying that for Best Director.
That was unfortunate.
So are these going to cancel each other out?
Nope, Kaluuya's winning. Daniel Kaluuya. Look, I forget who the other 2 are. I love Leslie Odom. That was great, but Daniel Kaluuya. Let me be different. Daniel Kaluuya should have actually. I think in any other movie, it was a strategic move to put him up for supporting actor because they're treating us as an ensemble, right? Because I think they rightfully realized that was going to be an easier pool of 5 than acting.
Yeah.
And so it's Lakeith, it's Leslie, and who are the other 2 for
the other 2 are for Best Supporting: Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7. He was really good.
He was good, but he wasn't Daniel Kaluuya transformed.
Oh, he wasn't.
Right.
And Paul Raci in Sound of the Metal, which I have not seen.
I'm watching that tonight. So I'm watching. That's the only one of the. That and Nomadland are the only 2 of the best pictures I haven't seen.
I'm really looking forward to Nomadland.
So I'm going to watch those, but I do believe that Daniel Kaluuya, his Paul from Sound of Metal's got to be transformative, because Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah, that was a masterwork, especially when you listen to and watch how he moves naturally. Like, that's acting. That's true. That's true acting. So I think it's I think it's a runaway. I've said it before. I have to quickly shout Charles D. King, who was an intern at MTV when I was there. We had a meeting in my office that which he reminds me about. He is a producer. He's like the dopest Black man who's not in front of the camera at all in Hollywood, and he's up in it's Ryan Coogler and Shaka King. 3 Black producers. Never happened before up for a movie of the year. So no doubt who I'm voting for.
I think this is a discussion that we carry over into next week, that I definitely want to, before we leave, I want to give you Yogi's Jewels. Today, to heal, you need more than prayer. Inhale therapy, exhale pain.
And I need a bag.
Big shillelagh. Okay.
I mean, that'll probably inhibit your ability to inhale, but sure, go ahead.
Also want to invite everybody and remind everybody, Sunday, the 21st of March is more than J. Anthony Brown's birthday. It's the Salute Her Awards. They're streaming Monday evening. That's our good friend Sheila Eldridge. That's her production.
Okay.
Oh, yay!
And our girl Lonnie Love is hosting, and some incredible, phenomenal women are participating.
Wait, hold on. Is that ghetto Holly Robinson Pete that's part of it too?
Yes. Thank you, Steve. Yes, absolutely. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Tomorrow's George Wallace, and take a look at this before we go.
He can tell you about their first dance, but he can't remember my name. I'm his daughter.
Half of all black families are impacted by Alzheimer's, but we don't know why. At HSC, we are investing in a new research study to find solutions for your family. To join the research study, visit blackalzbrainstudy.com or call 817-735-2963.